the whole Vlad TV staff is now working remotely from home, and all of my employees have full health insurance that I pay for. So we're doing our part with my crew to try to help out to the best of my ability. I mean, it's tough. I was just talking about it this morning. Like, as a leader, you have to be the brave one and the one to kind of reassure everyone that it's going to be okay. And sometimes you're freaking out yourself.
Right.
But you're the one that has to show everyone, like, okay, look, we're still going to go forward. We're going to take precautions, but bills will get paid. Your paychecks will be intact. There'll be a roof over your head.
Well, it looks like they're going to stop all that, though. I think right now, if somebody didn't pay their mortgage, didn't pay their rent, there's nothing nobody can do because the courts are closing down. So there's not going to be a judge. There's not going to be a marshal. There's not going to be anybody to enforce any of the laws for a few months. We don't know how long.
Yeah, I mean, Italy is actually allowing people to stop paying their mortgages right now. That's already started in other countries. And yeah, I mean, how are you going to evict somebody?
Yeah, who are you going to send out there?
Yeah, and it's tough. Like, as a business owner, I have an office that I pay a lot of money for every month, and we are going to be doing some shoots there. But in general, I'm paying for an empty office.
Right.
And that's just the reality of life right now.
But they should do that. Right now, everybody should take on that same mentality that right now everything has to stop.
Yeah.
The world just, I mean, it's literally, because I had some deals that I had pending. I had some things I've been working on for 10 years was just getting ready to materialize. And then all of a sudden this hit, but I understand it's better, even if I had to start over from scratch, than to get sick and to infect my loved ones. I have a couple uncles and aunties that's up in age, and I would hate to be the one who killed them. And literally, that's what it would be if you go out and you catch the virus and you bring it back to somebody that you care about or that you love. Or even if it's somebody you don't care about, you don't even know them.
Right.
It would be the same thing. Now you're going around. I was in Dallas a few weeks ago, and maybe like 3 weeks ago, and I felt so guilty, because I had started to study the way the virus was transparent, and even though I'd already had agreed to go and do this event, and I felt obligated to doing it, but while I was out and I'm touching all these people and I'm meeting all these people, and could only think is, what if I was infected, and I was just getting over a cold that had lasted like a month, and I was saying that if I would have been infected, how many people would I have infected from taking 200 or 300 pictures, shaking all these different people's hands, and I would have felt terrible.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Utah Jazz's Rudy Gobert, he was making jokes about the coronavirus. He was like touching all the microphones and kind of trolling the press and so forth. And he was the first person to come back positive. And he shut down the entire NBA season single-handedly. Not to say someone else might not have gotten it along the way, but he got 2 other people infected. He got another guy on his team and then another guy on Detroit that was playing against him that had been like playing hard against him during the game. The 2 of them are positive. And then a kid who got an autograph from one of them came back positive. The way this thing spreads is really kind of crazy.
It is. And that's why we have to shut down. We have to take it serious. And one of my fears is in the black community, we don't travel much. We don't get to see people from different parts of the country as much as other people, and a lot of it is because of our income status. But eventually, it's going to find its way into the inner cities. And once it does, if we're not taking this serious, we're going to be hit harder than anybody. You know, in Italy, doctors are having to make a decision on who live and who die. You know, who get the respirator and who don't get the respirator. So I wouldn't want to be laying there having a doctor to decide if I should live or if this other guy should live or this other lady should live. You know, I don't want to be in that position.
Yeah. I mean, I know my dad passed a few months ago, and he had Parkinson's, which started affecting his breathing. So he would stop breathing. They'd have to put a tube down his throat. Then they would take it out. And then he would kind of be okay. And then he would fall back and he would get sick and they would try to resuscitate him. And then I finally had to make the decision that if he had to have a respirator down his throat again, that we would let him pass, because the doctor and I had long conversations where he explained to me that if he had to go under the respirator one more time, he wasn't going to recover. So as opposed to having him suffer, I had to make, because my mother was just messing up. Like I had to take the reins on his health.
Tough decision.
It's a very tough decision, because you think, like, did I kill my dad? Could he have potentially
made it
after that and maybe got a few more months? And it's something that still bothers me today. But breathing is a very delicate thing, and the technology they have these days, I mean, it does work, but it's pretty barbaric. They literally have to stick a huge plastic tube down your throat, and in the process they could tear up your throat and everything else like that. It's something very delicate. Human science hasn't caught up as much as we think it has, and people are going to be affected by this. I mean, since our last interview, you turned 60 years old.
I did.
Congratulations. Happy birthday, belated. And I'm 46 myself. You start looking at these numbers and you look at the percentages based on age, and it kind of starts to freak you out sometimes.
It does. I think about, where I fit into that number. My friends, they tease me though and say, "Oh, well, you really 49." Your age is just that, because you've taken good care of yourself. Don't smoke, don't drink, exercise, eat right. But at the end of the day, will all that pan out? You never know.
You never know.